I spent most of from 14 to 25 in jail.
Adversity causes some to break and others to break records. For Jelly Roll, life has always been about overcoming adversity, challenges, and any other obstacle that life places in his way. He had to crawl and claw just to make ends meet. Crushed by the weight of the obstacles ahead of him, he decided he could take no more. However, his life turned around for the better when a prison guard delivered some very important news. What news could the prison guard have possibly delivered? And how exactly did it change his life? Join us as we explore how Jelly Roll's full transformation is turning heads. A rough childhood, Jason Bradley DeFord was born in the Antioch area of Nashville, Tennessee. His mother bestowed his famous nickname on him when he was young, and it has stuck on since then. His father, Horace, worked for a wholesale meat business and also did some extra work as a bookie to get more cash in for the family. As far back as Jelly Roll can remember, he knew that his father was a bookie and that his mother struggled with addiction and also had some struggles with her mental health. As he recalled to CBS Sunday Morning in 24, "I knew my father booked bets. I knew my mother did drugs. So to me, that was just what you did." By the time Jelly Roll was becoming a teenager, his life had started gravitating toward petty crime. He was not shy about admitting that he caused his folks a whole lot of grief during those years. As he once wrote on Facebook in 2019, "Many times the police knocked on my mother's door, looking for me. Many nights she went to sleep worried the phone would ring in the middle of the night and something bad would have happened. Many nights she prayed and worried if I would ever get my life together." Did he ever get to turn his life around? Or was all the worrying and praying for his mother for nothing? Did he fully embrace the life of crime? Or did he somehow manage to escape down that rabbit hole? A prison regular. As time went on, Jelly Roll became intimately familiar with incarceration. His charges would vary, ranging from possession of substances with the intent to sell to shoplifting and robbery. He continued to have petty brushes with the law until everything took a dark turn when he was charged with aggravated assault at the young age of 16. Though still a child, he was charged as an adult and faced the potential of up to 20 years behind bars. As he would later recall to Billboard in 23, there were talks back then of handing him a sentence longer than he had been alive for. He was ultimately sentenced to 8 years in prison, which was half the time he had been alive, but he wound up just serving over a year. He then spent the next 7 years on probation. One would think that after his probation sentence he would turn over a new leaf. But that was not the case with Jelly Roll. He continued to have brushes with the law, and he returned to prison a couple more times after that. As he later reflected later on in life, he said, "I feel like the justice system at that point kind of parked me on my only set path. Anything that could hurt people I wish I could change, but I was just a kid, man." If the threat of going to prison for 20 years could not change him, if serving 7 years on probation could not make him turn his back on the life of crime that he led, what then could possibly change this man who seemed set in his ways already? The change of fatherhood. During one of his prison stints in 2008, a guard knocked on his cell door to deliver some big good news. As Jelly Roll recalled to CBS Sunday Morning, the guard said, "DeFord, you had a kid today." He could not believe his ears. Sitting there in his prison cell, he could only respond, "What?" After pulling himself together, he asked for the name of the child, to which the guard responded that he did not know. For someone who had led a life of crime without remorse, that singular moment turned out to be the turning point in his life. Becoming a father meant only one thing to him. He had to get his life on track, and he had to do it fast. He wanted to set a good example for his child, one that was not set for him. As he told People magazine in 23, he compares receiving that news to the same incident in the scripture when Saul was turned to Paul on the way to Damascus. "My daughter saved my life. She was not even old enough to know it." Eventually, he started studying to take his GED, his first step toward turning his life around. Pleasantly, he passed it on his first attempt. He also presented himself with two options on how best to turn his life around: study to become a social worker, or focus on the music he'd been making since he was a teenager. He wound up choosing the latter. History of substance abuse. After getting out of prison, he was finally able to see his daughter for the first time on her second birthday. Bailey Ann was named. While he made the commitment to be a strong part of her life, he knew that to do so, he had to face his demons. He has continued to drink alcohol and use marijuana, but the much harder stuff he knew he had to do away with. As he told The Guardian in 23, he did not have much of a choice. It was either him or them, and in choosing himself, he had to learn to love himself. Jelly Roll is quite aware that his version of quasi-sobriety is not for everyone. However, he maintains that it works for him and works okay. In his own words, "I walk the line when I talk about my recovery out of respect for the people that have actually worked the program and completely sobered up. I represent overcoming. I represent the guy who was not supposed to make it. Overcoming adversity." Ever since he was a child, Jelly Roll has loved rap music deeply. As he revealed to Billboard in 21, the culture that he was exposed to was hip-hop. Not just the music, but the culture. The dancing, graffiti, freestyling, clothing, everything. As he immersed himself in Nashville's burgeoning rap scene, he also began to create his own music. As he grew confident in his skills, he headed to a recording studio, and then he handed his CDs to his customers while dealing with substances. As he recalled to CBS Sunday Morning, "I'm like, yo, here's a sack of substance, here's a gram of another, here's a mixtape. Know what I'm saying? I rap too." It was like a business card. He experienced his first brush with success when his 2010 single "Pop Another Pill" and his collaboration with Memphis rapper Lil White became modest hits. For the next decade, he slogged away in small clubs while building a modest following. As his popularity grew, he decided to cross from rap to country music, but he was met with resistance from the powers that be in the country music scene. As he told The Guardian, "Nobody is going to buy a 400-pound man singing sad songs. It's just not in the bingo cards for what the music climate is." He would go on to release a new project a few years later, which would attract attention. But was it the kind of attention that he wanted? Jelly Roll versus Waffle House? In 23, Jelly Roll released the mixtape, Whiskey, Weed, and Waffle House. The cover photo featured a marijuana leaf, a bottle of Crown Royal whiskey, and the Waffle House logo. The new release quickly garnered attention, but not the type of attention that he was hoping for. Waffle House threatened to sue him for using their logo without permission. Initially, he thought that someone was joking around with him. Seeing that it was a serious issue, he decided to change the cover photo and also alter the name of the project to Whiskey, Weed, and Women. However, bad publicity is still publicity. Jelly Roll realized that Waffle House's legal threat brought him free publicity. The story was covered by the likes of Gawker, and Jimmy Fallon even joked about it on The Tonight Show. He even saw the funny side of it. You'd think this might bother most people, but instead Jelly said, "I was calling everybody like, we're popular. Waffle House is trying to sue us." He also said, "I was 450 pounds. I should have sued Waffle House 10 years ago, do you know? How many all-star breakfasts have I bought in my life? I might have stopped at 330. Meeting the love of his life. Jelly Roll was performing in Las Vegas in 2015 when he met his future wife, Bunny XO. Unlike other romance stories, theirs was one filled with many obstacles. At that time, he had a van as he could not afford a hotel room. She was also working as an escort and was seeing someone else. Fast forward a year later, she was watching him perform at a Las Vegas club when he proposed marriage to her. She said yes, and given that they were in an area with so many wedding chapels, they figured there was no point in having a long engagement. The couple have remained together since then, and in 2023, they renewed their vows at the same chapel where they got hitched. Only this time, Bunny was in a stunning white gown. His musical career. Jelly Roll launched his career in hip-hop after being inspired by rappers such as 3 6 Mafia, UGK, and 8 Ball and MJG. He sold mixtapes out of his car, starting with a string of releases from his first project, the Plain Schmear tape in 2003, then following with the 4-part Gamblin' on the White Boys series from 2004 to 2011. His 2010 collaboration, Pop Another Pill with Memphis rapper Lil White, reached over 6.3 million YouTube views. This song led to the album Year Round by the hip-hop group Snow, of which Jelly Roll was a member. Over the next few years, Jelly Roll released many mixtapes and independent solo albums, including collaborations with Lil White, Struggle Jennings, Haystack, and Tech N9ne. Jelly Roll's 2030 mixtape Whiskey, Weed, and Women was originally named Whiskey, Weed, and Waffle House, but was later changed after Waffle House threatened legal action over the use of their name and logo on the cover. The replacement cover featured a cease and desist stamp in place of the restaurant's logo. Jelly Roll made his Grand Ole Opry debut on November 9, 2021, and on July 7, 2022, he was invited by fellow country singer Craig Morgan to join him on stage at the Opry to perform Almost Home. On May 9, 2022, Jelly Roll scored his first #1 on rock radio with the track Dead Man Walking. Meanwhile, on January 2023, Jelly Roll scored his first #1 song on country radio with his debut country single Son of a Sinner, written by Jelly Roll, Ernest, and David Ray Stevens. The track was the second single from the 2021 album Ballads of the Broken, and also peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot Rock and Alternative Songs chart. 2023 came with its accolades for him, as he made history on February 2023 with a record-breaking 25th week at #1 on Billboard's Emerging Artist chart. Jelly Roll sold out Nashville's Bridgestone Arena on December 9, 2022 to 15,000 fans, and was joined by Chris Young, Sam Hunt, Riley Green, Shinedown, Ernest, Struggle Jennings, Tech N9ne, and Chris Calico. In the summer of 2023, he completed a 44-city backroad baptism tour. At the 2023 CMT Music Awards, Jelly Roll won for Male Video of the Year, Male Breakthrough Video of the Year, and Digital First Performance of the Year, all for the song Son of a Sinner. Jelly Roll released his album Whitsit Chapel, featuring the single Need a Favor on June 2, 2023. On November 2023, Jelly Roll won the award for New Artist of the Year at the 57th Annual Country Music Association Awards. In January 2024, Jelly Roll testified before the U.S. Congress in support of anti-fentanyl legislation. Explaining his perspective as a former distributor of illegal substance, Jelly Roll stated before the U.S. Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee, "I was a part of the problem. I am here now, standing as a man that wants to be a part of the solution." Jelly Roll was also visited by a ghost of the past, as he was sued by Pennsylvania-based wedding band Jelly Roll for trademark infringement. On July 2024, Jelly Roll was featured on Eminem's new album The Death of Slim Shady Coup de Grace on the track Somebody Save Me, which sampled his song Save Me. Jelly Roll fights for custody. In an industry where most celebrities prefer keeping their children out of the spotlight, Roll doesn't shy away from sharing adorable photos of his kids. While he frequently shares details about his daughter on social media, he keeps info about his son under wraps. Roll's daughter, Bailey Ann, was born on May 22, 2008, after her father left for prison. When Ann turned 13, Roll revealed on his Instagram page that when his daughter was born, he decided to change his life and go after his dreams. Ann's existence changed her father's life for the better. When Roll came out of jail in 2009, he wanted to be a good example of the men in his daughter's life. So he vowed to become a great father to Anne and began building a relationship with her. Initially, things were not easy for Roll, as Anne's mother wouldn't let him see her because she wanted assurance that the singer would be consistent and present in their daughter's life. The two ended up having a custody battle, and eventually Anne's dad got full custody. Anne's mother had struggled with addiction at the time, which affected her relationship with her daughter. So staying with her mother wasn't conducive for Anne, and she needed to get away from the situation. At 2022, Anne shared a touching post on her Instagram page and revealed that she had a rocky relationship with her mother while growing up and was glad they were working on it. Though Anne didn't get to have a close bond with her biological mother, she has a beautiful relationship with her stepmother, Bunny XO. The two are very close, and Anne frequently shares photos of their fun moments on social media. She refers to her as Mom and considers Bunny her mentor and idol. On August 2022, Anne started high school. It was a big moment for her father, and he shared a post to celebrate his daughter's huge milestone. Jelly Roll's weight loss journey. Jelly Roll has been on a fitness journey over the last several months, and his hard work is paying off. The 39-year-old, born Jason Bradley DeFord, once tipped the scales at over 500 pounds, but in recent years he shed nearly 200 pounds, and since January, he has managed to lose another 70 pounds. His weight loss transformation was evident at the 2024 ACM Awards in Frisco, Texas on Thursday, and he looked confident as he posed for photos on the red carpet alongside his wife, Bunny XO. Jelly Roll, who is performing a new song at the ceremony and is nominated for 4 awards, rocked up in black pants with a matching knee-length t-shirt and a buttery brown leather jacket. He couldn't hide the smile from his face as he enjoyed a kiss with his wife, who looked gorgeous in a royal blue strapless dress adorned with gold embellishments in front of photographers. Explaining his healthier lifestyle, he said, "I'm probably down 70-something pounds. I've been kicking ass, man. I'm doing 2 to 3 miles a day, 4 to 6 days a week. I'm doing 20 to 30 minutes in the sauna and 6 minutes in a cold plunge every day. I'm eating healthy right now," he added. Just because he completed the race doesn't mean he is giving up his new fitness approach, and admitted he hopes to lose another 100 pounds. "If I feel this good down this weight, man, I can only imagine what I'm going to feel like by the time I go on tour," he told People. Jelly Roll shared his delight over finishing the 3.1 mile and took particular joy in inspiring other big guys to get motivated. "I couldn't walk a mile when I started trying to do this back in January," the singer told Entertainment Tonight. "So the fact that we got 3 whatever it was done today, I feel good about it. I left here feeling motivated." He continued, "I think the coolest thing is how many people stopped to tell us that they were motivated by us, other big guys. It was just cool to see an eclectic group of people. A man was running in a bear suit." While the race was a little bit harder than he thought it would be, he has set his sights higher for next year after catching the racing bug. "Next year, a half marathon. We're saying it right now," he said on the Today Show. "I'm going to speak for them. We're going to do the 2 Bears 5K again, but we're going to do a half marathon before." Jelly Roll and Keith Urban, the unlikely duo. An argument can be made that no artist is enjoying more of a hot streak lately than Jelly Roll. Fresh off a recent fantastic performance on the season 25 finale of The Voice, and in the middle of a whirlwind cross-country tour, it makes sense that the red-hot country music star would be prominently featured during CMA Fest 2024, and he teamed up with one of our all-time faves in the process. On June 8th, Jelly Roll capped off the evening's festivities in Nashville's Nissan Stadium with a set for the ages. However, one moment has stood out for fans: his unforgettable performance of Halfway to Hell, featuring one of the best to ever do it, Keith Urban. "There are no words much sweeter than, 'I would like to bring to the stage my buddy Keith Urban' for country music fans, is there?" We don't know who was more pumped up about Urban adding his talent for Halfway to Hell to the sold-out Nashville crowd, or Jelly Roll himself, who looked like he was living a dream on stage. Urban's lead guitar soared as he played over one of the most infectious and personal songs in Jelly Roll's catalog. Reaching #1 on Billboard's US and Canadian country airplay charts, Halfway to Hell was released in 2023 as the lead track off Jelly Roll's 2024 LP Whitsit Chapel. With poignant introspective lyrics and a driving beat that encourages head nodding at every opportunity, the song helped propel Jelly Roll into the stratosphere in 2024. Speaking to Country Now, Jelly Roll revealed why he made Halfway to Hell and justified its placement on his latest album. "I wanted to start this album with something hard, and something that meant something, and something that felt something," he revealed. "And something that was about that constant duality of life that I love to write songs about, being somewhere between right and wrong." He has also shared a stage with Eminem. The concert, jam-packed with elite performers and centered around the reopening of one of the most iconic Detroit landmarks, emphasized the Motor City's vital role in American music. The event took place on June 6th, and as star-studded as the concert lineup was, fans were left with their jaws wide open as famed Detroit native and hip-hop legend Eminem took the stage for an impromptu set. Eminem unveiled his new single, Houdini, to the sold-out crowd before launching into fan-favorite renditions of Sing for the Moment, with an emphatic helping hand from the voice guest performer Jelly Roll, Not Afraid. Oh, and he and rapper Trick Trick collaborated on the iconic Welcome to Detroit, a song Trick Trick hadn't performed since 2010. With all of the success he has amassed in his career, it would be impossible to have gotten this far without the love and support of his wife. So what role did she play in all of this? Bunny XO, a wonderful wife. He's an award-winning rapper, singer, and songwriter. But when the workday is done, Jelly Roll zeroes in on his role as a loving husband to Bunny XO, his wife of many years. After dazzling the crowd as a guest performer on season 25 of The Voice, Jelly Roll will join the dynamite lineup of country titans honoring Toby Keith for NBC's 2-hour memorial special, Toby Keith, American Icon. When he's stepping out for a special occasion or big show, you can often catch his life partner and longtime cheerleader, Bunny XO, cheesing alongside the CMA winner on the red carpet. Jelly Roll is married to Bunny XO, real name Alyssa DeFord, a beloved model, podcast host, and social media personality with 6 million followers on TikTok and over 800,000 subscribers on YouTube as the self-described Trailer Park Barbara Walters. Bunny XO launched her podcast Dumb Blonde in 2019 and has since garnered over 10 million listeners as she chats with her guests from everywhere about everything and anything. Celebrating 7 seasons of weekly episodes, Bunny XO thrives while touching base with everyone from musicians to clairvoyants. Her diverse guest lineup has included Mod Sun, JWoww, Priscilla Block, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and Brantley Gilbert, just to scratch the iceberg. According to her IMDb bio, Bunny XO has modeled for several magazines and appeared on Playboy TV. She has also appeared in several of Jelly Roll's music videos, such as Beautiful Disaster and All My Life, her husband's track with Falling in Reverse. Bunny XO and Jelly Roll also headline her YouTube series Meet the DeFords, a family vlog where the couple shares exciting updates from their lives in the entertainment industry. How did the pair meet? Jelly Roll met Bunny XO in 2015 while she was attending one of his concerts in Las Vegas at the Country Saloon. He spoke about the fateful performance during a December 20 appearance on the Golden Hour podcast, revealing that he met Bunny XO backstage at the show. However, she was in a relationship at the time, so the pair were initially just friends. But when Bunny XO became single later on, she reached out to mutual friends so that she could reconnect, this time romantically with Jelly Roll. "I'm not going to act like I shot my shot. Bunny kind of shot hers," Jelly Roll told the comedy podcast's hosts. Jelly Roll continued by explaining that he was living in a van at the time, and it was Bunny XO who helped him get back on his feet financially and supported him through his burgeoning music career. Now happily married for nearly a decade, the country singer encourages others to stick to the classics when it comes to marital bliss: communication. Somebody asked me what's the secret to our marriage the other day. I didn't even have to think about it. It's simple. We are comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. Jelly Roll shared on Instagram on June 2020. We have learned to laugh at the small asterisk T, and above everything, we don't take anything too seriously. This woman is my backbone in life. She's beautiful, smart, witty, and you wouldn't believe how silly she is. A loving mother. Bunny XO is the stepmother of Jelly Roll's daughter, Bailey Ann, from a previous relationship. The teen was born on May 22, 2008. Jelly Roll also has a son named Noah, born on August 2016, to a woman with whom the singer had previously been involved. In a June 2023 episode of the podcast Bussin' with the Boys, Jelly Roll revealed that Bunny XO helped him get custody of Bailey, which he accomplished at 2017. The couple hadn't been together for more than a year, but she didn't hesitate to lend a hand when Jelly Roll needed it most, helping him find a condo and build a home fit for a family after he'd previously toured the country living in his car. I'll never forget Bunny looked at me and man, it makes me emotional. She said, "No matter what happens with us, I'm gonna help you get the girl." And I was like, man, what character, you know what I mean? It takes a special kind of woman to raise a kid that isn't her child and still treat the child as if she was. Bunny is that special woman, outside of the social media, outside of the podcast, and all the business endeavors she does and helps me with. Bunny is a beautiful soul, Jelly Roll shared in a May 2020 Facebook post. She is kind, patient, and caring. Over the years, watching her relationship with Bailey blossom into this beautiful mother-daughter bond that it has become has been nothing short of magical. Jelly Roll continued, "I have truly been blessed with the best partner I could have asked for in life. You are the epitome of a good mom and deserve more credit than anyone, because you didn't have to step up to the plate the way you did. You chose to step up, and man, you have knocked it out of the park." In a June 2024 appearance on Bussin' with the Boys, Jelly Roll revealed that the couple had started exploring IVF options in hopes of welcoming another little one to the family. A month following that announcement, Bunny XO shared a clip from the podcast on Instagram with some additional context behind the couple's decision to update fans. "We had planned on doing this privately, but decided our IVF journey needed to be shared because we've always been so open," Bunny XO explained in a July 2024 episode of her Dumb Blonde podcast. "And with all odds stacked against us, it's always been hard, and we have only just begun. We were going to keep it from the internet because of how the internet is. They love to ruin beautiful things," she explained. "I thought about it, and I was like, my husband is excited to have a kid with me. How cool is that? If he wants to scream it from the mountaintops, let him. It doesn't matter how I feel about what other people think." One thing is obvious. Jelly Roll has managed to turn his life around, and he is surrounded and grounded by the love of his family. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Also, check out another of our interesting videos by clicking on the video showing on your screen.